let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go!
Six!
It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Find your next vehicle today at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream this morning at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way, each and every morning, we just pop up right away on your YouTube screen. Give this video a like, and of course, start leaving your comments in the comments section. You cleaning your glasses there, Ross? Getting those glasses nice and clean? Look at you, cleaning with $100 bill.
I tell people amazing. When I meet them, I say, "You use me, you'll be wiping your ass with these on closing day." It's a glasses cleaner. See, Ben's got the.
The only thing you need to do on the glass cleaner is to put your picture in it to remind them that you are the realtor. Is that what you give them?
No. I just got this for Christmas as a glass cleaner. Thought it was great.
You know what's funny? When you first started it, I was like, that looks like you're actually using a $100 bill. I'm like, great. Look at Ross just swimming in cash.
Yeah, be wiping your ass with these, folks.
You should get those customized and $100 Ross Peterson, Agency Iowa.
All my clients that have glasses, I give them?
Yes.
It's a great idea.
But you know what? They don't even need glasses because you can use those things for your phone screens, all sorts of things.
I have one. Courtney got me 3 of them for Christmas. One, it looks like a $100 bill. One looks like a dirty rag.
Is that? Oh, that's pretty. I thought it was tie-dye. I thought it was tie-dye, but I see the oily thing now.
Like an oily rag. And then the third one is a baseball glove.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. You have I wish I thought outside the box like that when it came to gifts. You know, I'm always overthinking this, like, oh, you know, what do I get? And sometimes, and don't take this the wrong way, stupid things are the best things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. The stuff that you want but don't need but would never buy for yourself. So anyway,
kind of like you know, now I'm to the age where would somebody get me a pair of socks? Would somebody get me some underwear, please? I don't get underwear or socks anymore. When you're a kid, you're like, I got underwear and socks. Now you're like, I could use some new socks. I could use some new underwear.
I just buy my own now.
You know, it was interesting because, and we're going to get to the Iowa State game, folks. I trust us. We're going to get to the Iowa State game. But because I was actually fooled by your $100 bill there for just a split second, and when I became unfooled is when you crunkled it up. I'm like, oh, it's fake. Yeah. And I should have known it was fake anyway, but it looked pretty genuine.
Like that.
And so have you ever just looked at something and you thought something was not what it, or you're like, that doesn't make sense. It looks real.
The AI stuff?
No, this isn't AI. This was actually a real photo. I'm on Facebook yesterday, and it pops up Bill Blank promoting a special. Hey, Bill Blank has got a special coming out. He's got a YouTube thumbnail. Now, if you sit back from your screen a good 5 feet, he's wearing a hoodie that says Mental Health Matters, and he's got a hat on. And if you look at the hat, because of the flash in the camera, whatever, looks like a black hat. To me, it did. With a white end with red around it. And I wrote him, I said, dude, you're wearing a Husker hat? That absolutely blows me away. When did Bill Blank become a Husker fan? And he's like, it's a North one, you jerk. It's a North one. He goes, you're colorblind. I go, no, you have bad lighting. And I did figure out it was green. But it's still, I go, the red around the end. He goes, it's pink. I go, okay. I'm just saying, Bill, that there's going to be a
don't know how you see black there. I see a green hat.
But here's the difference, Ross. And I'm not excusing it. Everybody's monitors are different. I think it depends on how your brightness and all that stuff is set up. And I'm sure if I got on my phone which is a crystal clear one, it would be green. It was just on my computer at work. I'm like, Bill Blank's wearing a Husker hat. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. And then he
never.
Never.
God, no.
Never.
God, no.
He wrote me back and said, if you ever want to see your great-grandchildren.
For never before Nebraska.
He goes, if you ever want to see your great-grandchildren, you better stop now.
Yeah.
But no, it is a North High hat. And I believe
I totally see it as green. I've seen that picture before. When you started to describe it, I'm like, I've seen it. He's kind of leaning back a little bit. In my mind, he had his arms crossed, but in this picture I'm seeing, he doesn't. He's got his green hat on. We were going to have Bill on tomorrow. He was going to be joining us tomorrow on the air to talk about this whole thing. Because remember when he called us and told us that he was headed out to
Colorado, right?
Go record this thing. And then I reached out to him and kind of asked him how it went, and we had a few conversations, and he told me they thought they had a launch date, but then he posted yesterday, and I think that's what you saw, that they've had to delay that because there's been some other updates or some other scheduling things happened. So doesn't know the date, but once Bill knows the date that it's going to launch, he's going to come on and talk to us about the whole process, what it is. He's also going to be on he was going to be on tomorrow. He was supposed to be on our show at 7. And then your old show, Todd and Tyler in Omaha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's getting it out there, getting it promote his special. It's cool that he's doing a special. Comedy's hard. Show business is hard. No matter what you do, whether you're doing, comedy, music, radio shows, it's hard, and you got to promote yourself. And when he comes on, I'm going to give him a hard time about wearing a Nebraska hat. So I can do that.
That's all on you, dude.
That's all on me
because I don't even have my bright. That's a green hat. That's very clearly. But again, maybe it's because I'm a Des Moines guy. I instantly recognize it as a North hat. Maybe it's because I know Bill Blank so well.
And maybe it's because I live in Omaha and you see that block N, which they use all the time.
But it's a different font. I want to give North. It's not the Nebraska N exactly. It's a little bit fatter.
They actually use a version like that. They don't. Yeah, the one on the helmet is like not their official N. They have like a block N that they use.
Can't decide
for a lot
on
of stuff.
Can't decide. Can't even decide on an N.
They can't decide on a lot of things. That's for sure. We can decide now that if you had any questions about Iowa State being elite, those questions are out the door. Last night, go down to Baylor, beat the Bears 70-60. This is after a slow start, Ross. Taman Lipsey gets into foul trouble, has to sit the majority of the first half on the bench. In the second half, look out.
Trav, like this just hit me. With how good Taman Lipsey is, think of how good they were without him. This team is absolutely rock solid. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm serious. Like, that was a fun game to watch. I'm rooting for this team. I'm rooting for something special to happen for Iowa State fans, and this team has every component that they would need to be able to do it. I want, like, it's almost like there's one game you're like, man, maybe Buchanan's the best guy on that team.
No, it's Lipsey.
Then this game you're like Jefferson. Then this game you're like, oh, Jefferson's. There's games I've been like, man, Milan is really good. He can stretch things out. And then you watch that last night and you're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Jefferson's had moments like that. I've talked about this. Now, Jefferson, I think, gets.
He had 19 points, 17 rebounds last night. He's coming off a triple-double from the game before.
Yeah, how could you argue that he's not the best player? Again, this is the great problem with this Iowa State problem. This is the great conversation with this Iowa State team. These guys are super talented.
And
that's a fun conversation of who's the best guy on this team. Lipsey went down, and they were great. You could
I don't know if I'd say
one of
great.
These
it was 27-20. It was they at least kept it close. They got the lead at halftime, and then you're right. Momcilovic only had 4 points last night, but when Lipsey doesn't perform or Jefferson, it seems Momcilovic comes out and will put up 20-some points, right? And let's not forget about Torrey. Torrey's a player that drives me nuts sometimes, but he's super athletic and can make amazing plays, but he also makes boneheaded plays sometimes. But then you go, okay, there's a good trade-off there, right? And, TJ, after the game last night, proclaim that Taman Lipsey's the best point guard in America. That's all subjective, but that's saying a lot when your coach comes out and says, I wouldn't trade him for any other point guard in America.
There's not another one that jumps into my mind that I would go, well, I mean, it'd take me a minute. Yeah, that's good for your coach to say that about you.
And then Scott Drew comes out and says,
it is what coaches say, but hard to argue after a game like that.
And then Scott Drew kind of throws, I'm not going to say he throws a dagger at his Big 12 conference rival Arizona, but he goes, hey, in my mind, Michigan and Iowa State are the two best teams in the country right now. I mean, he'd even bring Arizona into that conversation. You say Michigan,
the number one team in the country.
Yes.
Wow.
That's high praise from a coach who's won a national title.
And seems odd that you'd almost kind of light that fire with Arizona, but wow. Very high praise from a coach that would know.
I mean, very, very, we are watching something special, and this goes to the pressure of what our expectations are. We talked about pressure on Monday, and right now I'm like, oh, you're 15-0. And I'm going to go with what Audie Crook said earlier when she said, hey, you don't want to be playing your best basketball in January. We'll be playing it in March. And Iowa State's been playing its best basketball since November. I mean, it's like, when's the letdown? And I actually went into last night's game kind of going, tonight's probably the night. You know, and Baylor hasn't lost at home. They've got some stuff. And then you're like, oh, they exceeded my expectations. They keep going. And you're like, oh. And my expectations now are like, before it was like, well, Sweet 16 or Elite 8. That's going to be good enough for me. Now I'm like, Final Four, man. Final Four. National title.
There should be a Final Four banner hanging at the end of this season.
I'm kind of with you on that.
And I don't know. I hate to even play these games, but as I was thinking about that conversation of how deep they are with really good players, how they, not just last night without Lipsey, Trav, when I say they were really good without Taman Lipsey, I mean earlier in the year when he was hurt.
Oh, yeah. That's,
you know what I mean?
You
don't even have the guy and you're still rolling over teams.
I mean, Ross, if I would have told you, I'm going to throw some numbers at you.
All right, fire away.
If I told you a team for the game shot 30.6% from the field, 18.5% from threes, and 58.6% from free throws, would you say they win the game?
That's not Iowa State's team line from last night. You're kidding me.
No.
Under 40. Did you 30% from the field?
30.6% from the field.
30.6. Not under 40. 30.
18.5% from three and 58.6% from the free throw line.
Wow.
And you still win. You still win.
Handily.
On
the road against a good team.
Yes. That's how good this team is. And what makes them so fun to watch, we've seen great defensive tems before. Let's use the Virginia teams, you know, that they slowed
Tony
Bennett,
down. The pack
and Tony
line.
Bennett was at the game last night. I mean, people are like, Tony Bennett's at the game. I'm like, what's Tony Bennett at the game for? But Iowa State combines the defense with the offense, and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's both ends for all five players. That's a good way to put it too, Trav. It's not we wow with the offense. That's what, but it's defensive pressure on that end. You don't get to be one of these. You don't get to this elite level unless that's the case. Fun to see last night that when Lipsey's playing like that, Jefferson's line's fantastic, and Lipsey's the star of the game, not playing for a while.
And what I like to see, and it's been this way for a while, but it really, in games like that, the selflessness that comes out with this team, right? I mean, everybody knows their roles. There's nobody trying to do something more than they're not supposed to do. They all play within themselves, within the offense, within the defense. They let things create. And it's the epitome of a team. And there's There's a clear identity there. And it's just, if I'm any other team in the country sitting back watching right now going, I don't want to play this team in the NCAA tournament. I don't want to play this team in March. If you're Michigan, you're like, I don't know if I want to play them. Arizona's going, oh, we got to play them.
When's that game?
Oh,
do you have Ohio State schedule up in front of you? Because I'll go get my
I'll bring it
laptop
up. Just give me 1 second. But I can bring it up fairly quickly. Thank God I've got the uber fast, fiber now. Going down. Oh, it's a while.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. They don't play Arizona until March 2nd in Tucson.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It's the next to last
that would be
regular season game of the year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, March 2nd. So they end the year with an Arizona road trip at Arizona on March 2nd, then at Arizona State on March 7th. So it'll be a while before we get to see that matchup.
Yeah, that could be a different matchup by that point.
It could be. I doubt it, though. I think both teams are just so good. Now, I think both those teams are going to have a loss at some place in there. And again, losing's not a.
But they might be playing for the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament on that day.
And maybe a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, because the NCAA
That's true too.
Doesn't always consider the conference tournament in their seedings, right?
Remember when Iowa State beat the shit out of Houston?
Yeah.
They beat them by like 30, and the committee was like, "Yeah, that was cute."
Which is fine, because conference tournaments are they're looking at the whole body of work. I don't have a problem with that, but yeah,
games should
matter. Well, and let's say it was a Iowa State Arizona matchup in the final. That may also decide in the Big 12 tournament. Boy, we're looking ahead.
What a conversation to have! What a conversation that we're having here. Just think about that. It's not. I mean, with the chips fall the right way, you could get off that 8-9 line. These are the conversations we have a lot of times with our teams. Man, if we could make a run in the conference tournament and impress them, we could get up. We could get a 4, 5, 6 seed. This conversation is in a couple months. We all expect that this team is going to be at the top of the Big 12, competing for a Big 12 title, in the conversation for a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Let me change the narrative even on that. Playing for the overall number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. This is what this is about. You hit certain goals, you move the goalpost, okay? And now you're. I never thought about that, Ross. It's funny that you brought that up. How many years in a row? Okay, they're a 5 seed. They're a 7 seed. They're a 4 seed. Now you're
every once in a while we get those conversations of like, man, this team could be a 1 or 2 seed. When was the last time we had a conversation about one of our teams being a 1 seed?
Was it Iowa a couple years ago when they were a number? Were they a number?
They were 2, right?
Yeah. And I think it's happened more with Iowa State over the course of history of being, a 2 or a 1 or 2 seed. I tell you what, those are a lot more fun conversations than like, are we an 8 or 9? Because nobody wants the 8 or 9 because you play the 8-9 game, which is always a tough game, and then you go play a number 1 seed.
Would we be better off losing and going to 10 and playing that 2?
How many times have we had that conversation?
A lot.
Wow.
Well, I'm excited for my buddy Bill, and I hope that when he joins us, he wears his North hat.
I'm sure he will, and I'll see the green a lot more here. He'll do it just to rub it in. Up next for the Cyclones, by the way, is going to be Oklahoma State. And it should be a game that now Oklahoma State has double-digit wins already. They're a much improved team, but they got to come to Hilton Coliseum, and that's going to be a tough place for the Cowboys to get a win for sure. But, yeah, I mean, just last night was an absolute ass-kicking. And not an ass kicking, but they pulled away in the second half. Lipsy ended up with 24. I think 20 in the second half.
Jeez.
Picked up those 2 early fouls and boom. Of course, but it was a recruiting. You wonder what it does. You had Dave Aranda there last night with TJ Lagway from Florida. When you bring a recruit to a loss, does that help or hurt you? You're like, hey, we're going to the basketball game tonight.
See, you got to know how to spin it.
Okay, spin it for me.
Which one? The loss? Because the win's pretty easy, right? The win is like, hey, get it? The loss, you go right to the kid and you go, see why I need you?
Yeah, but coach, this is basketball. Yeah, but it's all the same, man.
Yeah, it's all the same. See why we need you here? We changed the culture of this place.
What'd you think of that kid, Najee or James Najee, the 7-footer, the NBA kid?
What did I think of him? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I sat there and went, boy, you got a nice build. I mean, he's got a nice body.
He looks like
right?
an NBA body, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Now, I get it that he hasn't played competitive basketball in a while. I get it. But I'm starting to go, oh, just even watching him, I'm like, why were you drafted? That actually came out of my mouth last night. I'm like, just why? Because if you were an NBA draft pick and you've played professionally, and I get you're going to be a little bit behind conditioning wise, playing 5-on-5, but you've got this amazing body, amazing build, and I'm like, you look the part. I'm starting to wonder. You were drafted because you looked the part, and
big part. That's a huge part of it, Trav. Absolutely, and they do believe that they can develop these guys. The NBA still does take on projects. I mean, hell, look at what the 76ers did for years. Like the NBA will still take dudes. It's not all, hey, we were looking for the most refined gem.
Yeah.
They still think they can get a lot more out of these guys. And I shouldn't say think, because sometimes they do. So I think that was it. They saw that big body and they're like, well, we can teach that dude how to do all the things. If you can't jump rope, there's athletic ability.
Take away our personal feelings about whether you got drafted or you played in the G League or you played in Europe, because I have pretty strong feelings about it. We've voiced them here. But it's not like, so far, James Najee's not dominating. I don't know what the kid from Santa Clara or Louisville's doing. But if these guys don't come in and dominate or do what we're expected, we're just going to kind of go, oh, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe if you've had to come back here, there's a reason, right? And I mean, I still care. I don't want it to happen. But if it doesn't have, because I think your brain will automatically do that. You were a second-round draft pick. You're going to dominate it.
You better.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at that body, look at that frame, and then you go, oh, you're kind of a disappointment.
Somebody had the talent evaluation wrong. And maybe is it that simple, Trav? Somebody just had a bad day at their job? Seriously? And a talent evaluator said, oh, this guy's a can't miss. We can teach this guy to dribble.
It would be interesting to see if scouts miss more than they make. And I bet they do. Ooh, yeah. Look how many scouts there are in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And fighting for, like, man, I found this prospect in
the movie. Wasn't that movie called The Scout when we were kids? Had Brendan Fraser in it?
Might have been. And even a little bit Moneyball, right?
Movie.
A little bit, but when they would sit around the table and I'm a scout. I've been watching these guys for a long time. He could do this, this, and this.
Yeah. Not going to be a good MLBer, though, because he's got an ugly girlfriend. Remember that? Wasn't that one of the things in Moneyball?
Yeah. But like most things in life, you hit one grand slam and you're like a hero in the business. Like I would go to these conferences. I'd go to a marketing conference and all they would talk about is like their one big win, right? It's like Hawk Tua. She has one viral video, and then you kind of sit back and go, "Oh, you're not." But if a player, a coach, has that one good thing, you elevate your status to where, oh, but he got this player. So if a scout finds,
he must be great.
Yeah. He knows what he's talking about. He's 1 for 1,000, but that one was amazing. Absolutely
think of the
amazing.
guy in the room who said, hey, I think that we should take our 6th round pick and draft this Tom Brady out of Michigan.
Yeah. Or somebody with the San Francisco 49ers said, you know what? Let's take Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
We got one spot left. Let's just go ahead and give it to Brock Purdy. Let's not let him get into free agency and pick any team he wants. Let's just go ahead and give him a spot because I see something there. And right now, that guy's getting a big pat on the back going, man, good evaluation. And what do you put on your resume? I found Brock Purdy.
That found Brock Purdy. Trav, when you say that stuff, you know what it reminds me of? Agents. Agents are kind of that same way.
Yeah.
Like get one big client, get one big contract. And it's like, okay, see how I did? I proved I can do it. Travis is a little bit like that in real estate. Sometimes you're in a meeting and people go, hey, can you tell me some of the things you've actually done? Have you actually got people to the finish line? Like, yeah. Look, here's my 100 deals. It does help a little bit. I mean, Scott Boras
it gives you credibility.
Exactly.
Makes a lot of sense.
Folks, real quick. I admit I haven't listened in a while. I love the show. Just haven't been able to do it. Now I remember why. Travis makes a Hawk Tua reference. You just don't get that anywhere. Oh, Kyler, you missed yesterday. Oh, buddy. Oh. It made me uncomfortable.
Go back and listen to it on the podcast replay.
A bad idea.
Actually, Chris Meharry wrote me and said it's one of the hardest times he had laughing in the last couple of weeks.
Hearing about the Toucan Man? Burger McChick writes, he's the Toucan Man.
Hey, folks, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company just isn't about great beverages. They recycle millions of pounds of materials each year and are active partners in hundreds of communities across Iowa and the Midwest, keeping refreshment and responsibility local. Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. This is The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Oh, did see you there. Happy New Year for myself and everyone else over here at Land Rover Des Moines. My personal New Year's resolution is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. Come on down for $25 off your service. You can give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
Hi, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Are you on the verge of taking that next big step in your relationship? Our latest collection of engagement rings is here to make your moment even more memorable. From stunning classics to modern designs, each ring is meticulously crafted to symbolize your unique love story. Looking for something truly one of a kind? Explore our custom engagement ring options and let us bring your vision to life. Visit our showroom in Ankeny and let's start creating the ring of your dreams together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Don't forget the Central City Liquors in Des Moines is your go-to for the best prices and great picks. From bourbon lovers to vodka fans and beyond, you'll find massive selection and some killer deals. Friendly, knowledgeable staff. Just look for the Todd father. Look for Brian. They're going to help you make the right choice every time. Next time you're planning a get-together, stop by Central City Liquors first. I do have a correction. We're not going to wait for Justin because we have listeners who hear my bullshit and they go, nah, you're wrong.
But
you're wrong.
our bullshit, dude.
I made the assumption as I was looking at the schedule real quick because they went to Arizona State, and I said they're making an Arizona road trip to end the season. The Arizona State game on the 7th is actually in Ames. So they play in Tucson on March 2nd, play at home to end the season against Arizona State.
Funny because in my head I was already like, oh, my buddy Ryan Grove's probably going to Arizona to watch those games because he would.
Yeah, so I want to thank Kent for pointing that out, correcting my BS before Justin could actually get to it at 7:50.
Justin wouldn't have got. He would have missed it.
You think so?
Justin's going to come in and talk about Drake. He's gonna,
not a good night for Drake last night.
You guys didn't make any mistakes at all. No, not at all.
I don't have much, but I do have some statistics for you.
right. Now you're getting it.
Because this is a statistics show. But he does bring good stuff. But
I love it. Yeah, but good correction there because I don't have the schedule. I don't have my laptop up in front of me. I didn't grab it during the break. So.
Yeah, and I excuse me. I just made the assumption. You see Arizona's Arizona State. You're like, oh, that's an Arizona road trip. No, need to read a little further.
I was hoping you were going to say you missed Arizona earlier in the schedule. That somebody wrote in and said, "Hey, man, they also play. They got Arizona on January 27th." Like, yeah, sweet.
Now, I don't think Justin's going to want to come on and talk Drake today because Drake got beat at Bradley last night, 93-66.
Played probably, I think I saw Justin's tweet last night that they played their worst half of basketball in the first half last night. Went to the locker room with 19 points.
Oh, the shooting woes continue. The scoring droughts continue. I think Bradley, after Drake was up early, went on like a 12-0 run. Early in the second half, went on a 15-0 run. They would go 4 minutes at a time without scoring. And, the frustrating part, I'm sure, for Hendo is just the lack of consistency. One night you think you solve your offensive woes. Yeah. The next night they return. You just can't get consistency.
Yeah, you saw that, I felt like. When we talked to him, you saw this thing of like, hey, I think we're figuring some things out. I think that we hit a rough spot. They were on 55-22 at one point, Tyler wrote in the chat.
Oh,
that's tough. Okay, so silver linings. Like, you didn't quit. They didn't quit. They kept playing. And now, again, is it because you're playing the bench at that point? But got to find some silver linings and find the the pieces to build off of in stuff like this. It's really hard. And I think that when you lose games like this, it's so weird. Travis, reputation, momentum and reputation, they take a long time to build. They don't take long to lose. It doesn't take long to lose. And we all know that about reputation. We're taught that from a very young age, right? It doesn't take much to ruin a good reputation. Doesn't take much to ruin some good momentum in the fan base, in the locker room.
It's funny that you bring this up, Ross. I was talking to an Uber Drake fan yesterday, and because I shared the Hendo interview that we did with him, and he just fired back and said, the sad thing is there are some spoiled Drake fans, because you have been spoiled the last several years, who are already questioning the ability and the hiring of Hendo. And
I've seen some of that.
And you're like, you've got to back up and punt and understand that Drake's in a pretty unique spot, right? And sure, Ben McCollum must have known something when he brings his entire Division II team to be able to compete in the Missouri Valley Conference. But the landscape is different, and you're going to have turnover a lot. And Darren DeVries spoiled Drake fans. Ben McCollum for 1 year spoiled, and for you can almost say that Nico Medved did, because he got him to that winning record, right? Got him over the hump where they were competitive, and you're like, you take a step back, and like it's way too early to have those conversations.
I'm on the Hendo thing. You slow down,
and I may be jaded a little bit because he's such a good dude, and you don't want to be judgmental, and I'm not willing to go there yet.
It's hard in the wake of a game like last night. It's hard to say things like this, and maybe not this bad, but man, we have been in January the last couple of years and looked up at Cedar Falls and thought, man, what's going on? Has Ben Jacobson forgot how to coach? As the team has struggled, the team's in the middle of the valley, the team's losing games to teams that we didn't think they'd lose to, and then we've all been around long enough to go, oh, give it time. Ben Jacobson's going to figure it out. I want to give this time. I not only everybody that in the coaching world seems to love Hendo, have a lot of respect for the guy. You see that optimism and kind of character and fun coming through when we chat with him. So give this time. I don't know. Is he the right guy? I guess, what's that mean? To win the Valley, to get back to the NCAA tournament, to do what Ben McCollum and Darren DeVries did? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, and I'm maybe overemphasizing this, or maybe it's a little bit of hyperbole or whatever, but I think it's safe to say that Darren DeVries and Ben McCollum both overachieved. Now, they had high expectations, but look where Drake basketball came from. It was just like, hey, don't have a losing record. Don't be on the first play-in games in the Missouri Valley Conference. Then immediately it changed to, oh, we need to compete for the Valley Championship. It's hard. And Drake, whether you like it or not, is at a severe disadvantage compared to a lot of other schools in the Missouri Valley Conference. It just is.
Drake went from, I remember days, we'd be like, oh man, if they can stay out, they can get that top 4 of Arch Madness, if they can stay off those, those Wednesday games?
Those Thursday
games?
Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good season. Drake went from that to arguing about being an at-large bid if they didn't win the Valley the Valley tournament. That's how far things changed in a short period of time. They caught lightning in a bottle. It was awesome. Enjoyed the ride. The expectations have changed. I don't think that it's smart to get into this fire Hendo and no way. I guarantee you Brian Harden's not even like,
no.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, just coming, I think it was disappointing for this Drake booster. He goes, people don't realize how spoiled you were.
Good
right?
perspective on his end.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as a fan. It's still frustrating. Doesn't matter to hear it, and you can know it. It's that old line of, man, it might be true, but I don't like hearing it.
That's a good way to put it, right? It's like, it just hurts. You think Brian Harden likes what's going on right now? No. Do you think Hendo likes what's going on right now? No. No coach, by the way, who loses likes to go through this, because you're staying up late. You are uber competitive. You're staying up late. I mean, if Ben McCollum was going through this at Iowa right now, he'd be pulling his hair out. What he has left. TJ Otzelberger would be in the weight room getting those biceps bigger if they were going through something like this.
That's not possible. If Ben McCollum were off, had more games like the Purdue game. Think if Ben McCollum had more, or the Michigan State game rather.
Yeah.
Think if there were more of those in line. Think if they'd had the start that Drake has had, a disappointing start, people be freaking out. There would be people that had been hollering about firing Fran. That would be.
There would be. They're like, we made a change for this.
Yeah. We Tom Davis this situation.
But it's a good and bad thing. The bad is you got to give this some time. The good thing is you have expectations now. There was a time when there were like zero expectations for Drake basketball. It was so bad. I mean, on the old show, there were times we didn't even talk about Drake. It was like, what are we going to talk about? Them losing again?
We liked Mark Phelps.
Phelps is a good dude. Now, he did get caught in a cheating scandal
when
we
were like the two guys in Des Moines, I think. That seemed like it. And, when I saw Nico the other day, it reminded me, if I just could have got on that bass boat, think how good of friends he and I would be. Nico and I probably would have been best friends if I just could have got on that bass boat.
I looked at Nico Medved on the sideline the other night against Iowa, and I'm like, finally, you're starting to look your age. You've aged a little bit. When he took the Drake job, he looked like he was 17 years old. Now you're like, okay, you've got some gray hair there. You're wrinkling up a little bit. You're looking like.
Is he really? I didn't notice that, because every time I see him, I just think of him fishing. I could have been fishing with Nico. Could have been on that bass boat.
Say you're from Minnesota without saying you're from Minnesota. What are you doing, Coach? I'm on a bass boat.
Yeah,
I'm on a bass boat. Yeah, Phelps was one of those guys that I always thought when we golfed with him, he was different in person than he was in real life.
I got a chance to. That's when I helped out at Drake. Yeah, I got a chance to work at Drake and be at the table a lot during that Phelps era. And so I kind of knew that guy because the camera Phelps and the table Phelps are two different dudes.
Yes.
So a lot of coaches are that way, by the way.
Hendo's not.
No, he's too positive and fun. And I don't think TJ is either. TJ doesn't seem like the guy. You don't see him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see. I think Fran would have been a tough guy to work the table for.
Yeah. But when we had Fran on the show, we were like, where's this Fran all the time?
That competitive thing turns on, man.
Yeah. It's like a light switch. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like, where'd that come from?
The kid that tries real hard in PE. The cousin you have who hated to lose board games.
I wouldn't know that because I never played.
Oh, that's right. You don't like board games.
No.
Have you guys decided on a card game you're going to start playing as old fogies here?
Probably cribbage. Okay. Pat wrote me back. Yeah, probably cribbage. It's not getting any easier for Drake because they got to take on Belmont next. Belmont goes into Cedar Falls last night and takes care of UNI 78-65. First Valley loss for the Panthers. Belmont hit 10 threes last night, shot 60% from the field. Ooh. I mean, that's a good road win.
Like that.
You go into, I mean, when you talk that top half Valley and Belmont was there, Northern Iowa was unbeaten going in. You go in and get a road win like that, you're laying your territory. You're saying, hey, don't forget about us. I mean, for me, it's still hard, Ross. I don't know if you've adjusted to think that Belmont is in the Valley. It's still hard to comprehend this. But that's a good team. You go in and you win 78-65 in Cedar Falls against a team that's got talent.
A good team, a good UNI team. Yep.
Yeah. So UNI now goes
hot night. Tough to win a game when a team shoots like that.
Yeah. Now Belmont takes on Drake, and then Northern Iowa will take on Bradley.
Okay, so they swap opponents?
They basically swap opponents. The travel partners there. Who's our travel partner?
Tough stretch for Hendo here.
Bad loss for Bill Fenley and the Iowa State women last night.
Yeah.
Bad loss. Now, you lose a player in the fourth quarter that could probably help you, but they got beat at Cincinnati, 71-63. The hard part about this is Cincinnati had a losing record going in. Iowa State's ranked 11th in the country. That's one of those games. You lose at Baylor, I understand that. Baylor is a ranked team. And you're on the road. You go to Cincinnati, that one hurts. It was a poor shooting night. They got out-rebounded 44-20. That number is probably going to drive Bill Fenley nuts more than anything. You get out-rebounded 44-20, boom. And Cincinnati basically beat you on on one-on-one games. This actually surprised me. I think it was 6 assists on 25 made baskets
for Iowa State.
No, for Cincinnati. I mean, that's
a low number. Yeah. That's why I thought it was. Yeah, 6 assists on 25 made baskets.
Yeah. So Iowa State, which started the week on the number 11 line, drops to 14-2, 2-2 in the Big 12. Probably going to take a pretty good hit in the top 25 that comes up next week. So, yeah, just absolutely a crazy night in basketball. Drake losing, UNI losing, Iowa State women losing, but Iowa State was the glimmer of hope and comes out of Baylor with a win. What do you think of the word athletics? What
do I think of the word athletics? Pretty generic term.
Well, the patent department thinks athletics is pretty generic too.
That's right. I saw this. I misunderstood this story, Travis. I saw a headline yesterday that said that the Athletics, the Oakland Athletics, as we know them, the Major League Baseball team that we all call the A's, is moving to Las Vegas. And so they tried to register 2 different trademarks, Las Vegas Athletics or Vegas Athletics, and both of them were denied. I read a headline, Travis, that led me to believe that somebody had already beat them to the trademark. But the truth is the trademark office said this isn't unique enough to actually trademark.
So I'm going to read the exact story, right?
Okay,
the A's were told their nickname Athletics was too generic and could be confused with other activities, even if associated with Las Vegas. Even though that's been the club's nickname since the Philadelphia Athletics began playing in 1901. So the club has 3 months from when the refusals were issued on December 29th to ask for an extension to file a new application within a 6-month period. Now, Las Vegas is building a $2 billion stadium that will seat 33,000 people. It's on schedule to open for the 2028 season.
Okay.
I think I get how important is a trademark there? Because you can't copy a logo. If somebody went and said, hey, we're going to use the script A's that they have. We've seen this before. You can go, there's too many similarities there. You own that. And the color and stuff like that. I'm not a trademark attorney. I don't understand that. But I get, it's like when Ohio State tried to trademark the. Well, you don't get the word the or however you pronounce it.
The first one I remember was Pat Riley owning the term three-peat. Sometimes it makes sense. Like when you're trying to make sure that somebody isn't making money off of either your product or your name or a certain moment or tragedy or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense to have a trademark like that for Major League Baseball teams, I think it's vitally important because of merchandising that they've got to have. They have to be able to own that font of whatever their term is.
I mean, let's say there's a loss. Let's say that already there's in place and I don't know if there is or not. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say there is a Las Vegas Athletics Association, which could very well be possible. Could you come in and say, well, we own the name Athletics, so you don't get to call your company that's been around the Las Vegas Athletics Association anymore? Because that's how generic. When you say, hey, we're going to trademark the New York Yankees, I get that. Who else in New York is going to use the Yankees?
What was the deal with the Aces, right? When the Las Vegas Aces, or not the Knights, I'm sorry, the Knights. Remember when the Vegas Knights, the hockey team went there? They were like, hey, you can't call yourself the Vegas Knights because there's like an Air Force flying thing. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think the most recent one, and listeners, help me out. Didn't the Utah Hockey Club have a problem too? They were going to do a name, and then they're like, oh, we can't do that. And they were shot down right away. I forget what the original name was, and they had to, settle on the Mammoths?
Yeah, they were going to be the Yetis.
That's what it was.
Was it and
like Yeti Cooler said, no,
was
you're
it
not.
Yeti Cooler? Oh, my God.
It might have been.
Wow. They're the freaking A's. They're the A's.
Yeah, their name's not going to change. It's just what can you make money off and what do you actually own? Oh, the legalities of stuff. Stuff you never think about, right? You're like, you're probably sitting in the front office going, we got to deal with this.
Here's the thing. It's just an embarrassment. No matter who's at fault, no matter what the answer is, no matter how easy or complicated it is, it's an embarrassment for the Oakland. It's an embarrassment for this baseball organization, the Las Vegas Baseball Club. Do our professional teams need nicknames? I mean, we got rid of the Redskins. They were the Washington
the Commanders.
They were the Washington football team for how many years? 2, 3 years? 5 years? How long?
It was the Utah Hockey Club for a little bit. I guess, when you look at Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, you probably do just to decipher which team is which. But with the Yankees, I never say, hey, New York. I would say, hey, it's the Yankees or the Mets.
It's the New York American League Baseball Club.
Well, and help me out. I don't know this. Bruno's coming on at 7:30. Do soccer teams have nicknames?
Very few.
Okay.
Very few. And
it's like Barcelona FC, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. Most of them are just, and the FC obviously is for football club. And then you have like Manchester United and Manchester City. But then there are some, I'm trying to think of, and they always have funny names, Travis, like Rovers and Wanderers are two very popular, of the professional soccer nicknames. Those are two that I can remember off the top of my head. Now, I think, like Tyler says, the Manchester United Red Devils. I think that each team kind of has like their own little, but it's not like it. That's most people have heard of Manchester United. Very few people have heard the term Red Devils. And
I haven't. You just dropped that on me for the very first time.
Yeah. So, but some of them are like, gosh, Tyler, maybe can you think of some of them that have that are a little bit well known that have the nickname in it? It's like, I feel like Bolton's team name is like the Bolton Wanderers or the Bolton Rovers, or anyway. Sometimes, very rarely in soccer, are they known for that nickname?
You know why you have mascots? So you can put, so you can have them in the stadium, so you can make personal appearances, so you can sell gear. So it's just not generic New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. It's the Rams, the Chargers.
Some of them make really good sense. Like, Eli goes to Roosevelt, and when you go to a Roosevelt football game, they've got a kid walking around with this unbelievably oversized Teddy Roosevelt head on. Looks like a bobblehead. Really funny. I was in East High Scarlet, and for some reason we dressed people up like Indians.
Really?
Yeah. One of the cheerleaders would be in like full Indian headdress and.
So were they? Was it the East High Indians at any time, or were they always the Scarlets?
It was always the Scarlets. And then at one point they were going to try to change it to like the Scarlet Knights. And enough people were like, "Oh, I don't do that."
Yeah, when I hear the word Scarlet, I guess an Indian doesn't come to my.
I don't know how it did. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that started. No idea.
Well,
it was. I mean, like it was like that was the logo for East for a while that I can remember. Was like an Indian with the headdress. No idea.
Like Dowling's the Maroons. Is there such thing as a maroon, or is it just a color?
That's a great point. They don't have a mascot. I've never once seen a Dowling mascot. What would you do? What if do you go maroon crayon? Do you go with
or
just
crayon?
Okay, one of those. Do you just make it a giant D? Go big D? What do you do if you're doing the Dowling mascot? Yesterday we had a really fun conversation about coming up with the fight song. To me, the mascot's way more important. And you could have so much fun with it, and so many people just go boring. We'll be the Jaguars. Okay.
That's why South Park Cows is still the best ever mascot. We're the cows.
I love that show Community, and they were the human beings. They didn't want to offend anybody, so they were just that was the name. The mascot they came up with was the human beings.
Oh, man. Hey, everybody, join the frenzy with the Iowa Lottery and the Iowa Wolves and the Minnesota Timberwolves. You could win Iowa Wolves courtside seats or a VIP experience with the Minnesota Timberwolves, including warm-ups courtside, that's watching them, plus $1,000 cash and a night in Minneapolis. It's all from the Iowa Lottery, and it's open now to entries. Non-winning Cash Frenzy scratch tickets can be entered into your Iowa Lottery VIP club account for a chance to win. First entry period ends before 10 a.m. on January 26th. Courtside seats to an Iowa Wolves game or a VIP Lotto Zone courtside experience with the Iowa Wolves is available. All entries not selected for that will be selected as winners to go into, or all entries not selected as winners will go into a grand prize drawing for the Timberwolves VIP package. So make sure to get your Iowa Lottery tickets and participate in that promotion.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
More Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Oh, did see you there. Happy New Year for myself and everyone else over here at Land Rover Des Moines. My personal New Year's resolution is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. Come on down for $25 off your service. You can give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Trav, your mic is muted again.
Willis Automotive powers the Rush Radio Show. If you're in the market for a vehicle, this is where you start. New, used, or certified pre-owned, Willis Automotive has the selection, the people, and the service that make it easy. No pressure, no games, just a team that knows how to take care of you. Check them out at willisauto.com. That's willisauto.com and experience the difference. If you're listening on the audio stream, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Of course, follow us on our social media channels.
You all right?
Technology. I swear to God.
Hey, good timing on that one. Driftless Iwan's listening to the commercials. He likes the Central City commercial is a hit. Too much of a hit. If you missed some of the show last week, we got some problems with the Central City commercials. But Driftless Iwan says, we can make your dreams come true. Oh, Lord, they have midgets in there?
You'll have to find that somewhere else. There's a certain website that I believe you can find that on if you want.
I opened the door.
That's what I hear anyway.
That's my fault. I think I had a good idea during the break too for Dowling. Is this blasphemous? I don't want to offend people. I don't mean this to be offensive. I think it would be kind of funny. So, you got one kid that shows up dressed like Teddy Roosevelt. At East, you get one kid that shows up dressed like an Indian. What if a kid showed up dressed like the Pope?
I don't think that's blasphemous, because Catholics don't view the Pope like Muslims do Muhammad. Right. Yeah. So I don't think that would be
offensive if a kid showed up with the pointy hat and walked around and everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Ray's got the right idea. Waves like the Pope. His friends come in carrying him on their shoulders or something. I don't know. I'm an idea guy. They're not all good.
It's not a bad one. It would be. Some people would find it offensive. Probably, and here's who would find it offensive, would be the Catholics in the bunch, right? It wouldn't be anybody else. Because when you go to a Halloween party and you have somebody dressed as the Pope, or if you have, the priest coming with the nun, everybody, I get what you're doing there. It would be the hardcore Catholic. Man, you can't dress up like the Pope.
He's crossing himself.
There's only one Pope. You can't even come as a bishop. You can't even come as a cardinal. You can't even come as a Monsignor. You can't do that. I wouldn't be offended because I'm offended by nothing. Nothing offends me.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. College football semifinals tonight, Ross. You have Miami taking on Ole Miss. Lots of drama behind this. Two great storylines. You know, Miami was lucky just to get into the college football playoff. Talk about a team that didn't win their conference. The only team from the conference to get in, even though they didn't win the conference. You got Ole Miss, who has their coach bolt on them. You have the drama of assistant coaches who may or may not participate. Both teams not expected to get to this far along, and here we are. Both of them one win away from the college football championship game.
I'm pulling for Ole Miss.
So am I. I think they're the sentimental favorite amongst everybody because it's a big FU to Lane Kiffin. I think the more it's kind of like in Major League when they took the piece of clothing off what's her name? She was hot, by the way. But she it's like we're ripping one more off. Ripping one more off. I'm with you. I want Ole Miss to win. And I want when it's put out there, if Ole Miss gets to hang a national championship banner, not saying they will, because beating Indiana or Oregon is not going to be an easy task, and most likely going to be
Ole Miss
Indiana.
is a really good team. It could happen. They're here.
It could happen. Because, hell, did we think they were going to beat Georgia? No. We knew they were going to beat Tulane, but we didn't think they were going to beat Georgia. But when Pete Golding gets credit for winning a national title at Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin gets no part of it, now he'll get paid from LSU because they promised him his bonus money. But there will be no ring for Lane Kiffin. And Miami, I just can't root for Miami. I just can't.
I'm with you on that. There's something there as well. I don't know, again, if it's the Michael Irving thing, if it's just they've always had that attitude of Miami. So I have a really hard time rooting for them. The Ole Miss story is way better. So I think we're going to get two really good football games. Well, who knows? Dude, Indiana's so good.
They really, really, and I know we've known they were good, but it was that game last week. You went, oh, this team's at a different level, and
against Ohio State a couple weeks ago in the Big Ten championship, you watch, you go, this team's at a different level. The only team that they weren't at a different level against was Iowa.
Yeah. Key's going to be if Miami can get to the Ole Miss quarterback like they were able to do against Texas A&M, like they were able to do in their quarterfinal game, it's going to be hard because that's the way Miami won. They went against good quarterbacks, shut them down. Ole Miss got a good quarterback. If he's not able to scramble, if he doesn't have time, it's going to be hard for that offense to do anything. Now, I do believe that Ole Miss works at a much different pace, but Miami's been winning with its defense. Its offense is okay. They win with their defense. Their rush ends are just nasty. But there's just something about me as I watch tonight. I just cannot go. Because there'll be a lot of people say, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care. But there's just something about me. I can't root for Miami.
And it's not for you. I imagine for you at some point your brain's going to go, well, it's probably because of Abigail.
Well, she already sent me a photo this morning. She has Sutton decked out in Ole Miss gear.
I
right?
love it.
Mean, she's going to daycare. She's going to daycare, and for all it said was hotty toddy. Here we go.
So for you, it is there's an element of that now as well. But I think around the country,
but it's more of a F Lane Kiffin.
Yes, this is not support Ole Miss. It's F Lane Kiffin. You're right.
It's F Lane Kiffin.
And if Ole Miss were playing Indiana, I think it'd be hard. It'd be a different conversation too.
In my mind, right.
I'm still rooting for Indiana over F Lane Kiffin. Tonight, I'm rooting for F Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Now, if the national championship ends up being Dan Lanning or F Lane Kiffin, I'm doing the F Lane Kiffin.
Because you don't view Oregon as a member, it's still hard to.
I don't care for that guy.
Is it just the way he looks?
Something, and I don't care for Oregon. I have no connection to Oregon. They're they're not the convicts that Miami is. They don't have that reputation, but I have no connection to Oregon. So my favorites here, who I'm rooting for, my rooting interests go Indiana 1, Ole Miss 2, Oregon 3, Miami 4.
It's a good one. And if Ole Miss ends up playing Indiana, I might be with you because I do love the Cignetti story. I love. Now, the story will get old if this keeps up over the next 5 years, right? I mean,
it'll get old, dude. They get to win once.
That's it.
5 years. What are you talking about?
You're allowed to win once. That's it.
And then you're not then you don't get to be the Cinderella story anymore. Ask Cub fans, ask Red Sox fans, ask Chiefs fans. You get one of being isn't this sweet? And then you get that, and then everybody goes, okay, now there's somebody else. When's Northwestern get to be good?
It's funny you brought up the Cinderella story because we talked about who's the Cinderella of this year's college football playoff. We did this last week, and it was between Miami and Ole Miss with us. And everybody's like, there was a lot of people on YouTube, and even when we put the shorts out, we're like, you guys are crazy. It's Indiana. I go, I don't know how you could be the number one team in the country, the favorite to win the national title, and be the Cinderella.
You can't be.
Exactly.
And by the way, this year, besides Miami, all of these institutions are in that. None of them have been as bad as Indiana for as long.
I mean, overall program Cinderella, probably. But this year's body of work, I think everybody had Indiana in the playoffs from day one. I don't know if we had them the number one seed, but when you're the number one seed and you're expected to win the national title, you're not a Cinderella.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, you have a coach leave on you. Miami, you don't win your conference, but yet you're the only ACC team to get into the playoff. You're a Cinderella.
Yeah.
You got there in a weird way that nobody ever anticipated somebody getting there.
We don't have to have a Cinderella. First of all, that's not none of these teams fit the definition. The slipper doesn't fit on any of these teams.
It's not a 16 seed getting, or it's not
right.
like
Let's
a 10 seed getting the Final Four. Yeah,
right.
I guess it's the surprise. Take away the word Cinderella. Use the word who is surprising you? It's surprising that Ole Miss is in the semifinals. It's somewhat surprising that Miami's in the semifinals.
I'm not surprised that Ole Miss is there. They were really good all year long. Again, like you say with Indiana, how can you say you were surprised? Yeah, their coach is gone. They still got the same 100 dudes out there that were ranked in the top 5.
True. I guess beating Georgia after losing to Georgia in the regular season, the way Georgia was playing at the end of the year, that's a big. But I'll give you that. I'll concede exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like the two games we have. Sure, we could have different matchups, but I don't have any problem with the semifinals that we have, even though they're non-traditional teams, should we say?
I like it this way rather than if we were to get two teams that. I wouldn't want either one of these games to be the national title.
That's fair. Yeah,
you know, I'd rather see a Big Ten team battle off with, one of the Southeast boys. I understand that. I just mean geographically for my. Anyway,
you're bad at geography. Remember, you were saying that yesterday.
I'm bad at capitals. I'm real bad at them. Yep, never cared to learn them. Didn't think I needed to know them. And you know what? Turns out I was right.
Unless you're driving through the state.
So what?
Unless you're
going. What? Like that matters? Like you got to go check in?
Or if you move to state, we know you're never moving, so you're never going to.
And why, if you move to a new state, why do you need to know where the capital is?
Because you may have to go there sometime.
For what? When have you ever had to go to the capital?
To assimilate within that culture of said state.
Okay.
This DeMond Williams Jr. story at Washington is getting interesting.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Speaking of Lane Kiffin.
So we talked about it a little bit yesterday. DeMond Williams Jr. signed a contract with the Washington Huskies to return as its quarterback. After he signs contract, he makes an announcement while his coaches are at a funeral for a former Washington soccer player, to say he's going into the transfer portal. There was a report yesterday from ESPN that he signed with Washington for about $4.5 million going rate. Wants to do best for him. Also came out, Ross, that in the contract there was a buyout clause where it said the buyout of said contract would be at the discretion of the University of Washington.
The buyout amount would be at the discretion of... So they put market price on the menu?
Basically, that's what it looks like. Because, first of all, Damon Williams, fire your agent.
Yeah.
Whoever put that into a contract is a bad negotiator. A bad negotiator. You don't say, hey, buyout is at the discretion of the University of Washington.
You guys get to decide what that is when the time comes.
Yeah. Because they may say it's $4.5 million.
They could say it's $25 million.
They could. Now, that would not hold up in court because it would be,
right.
But you could say it's the full amount. We even though we didn't pay you, we went in good faith, raised this money, diverted resources from other players, which we were not able to sign because we didn't have the money there.
Yeah.
There was damage done. You took up our resources to solidify you, and therefore there is $4.5 million because you could spread $4.5 million over a number of positions a lot of ways, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And who pays said buyout? Because a lot of people are thinking he's going to LSU. Not a guarantee, because there's going to be other people who jump into this fight.
Yeah.
But does LSU pay the buyout? Or whoever team he goes to, does Williams have to pay the buyout? Does he go, well, if I got to pay $4.5 million and I'm going to get $5 million here, I'm only making $500,000. And Washington has said that it will use all legal means to go after this. And it's interesting because I brought this up beforehand, and I forget his name. Xavier Lucas. Remember, he was at Wisconsin last year.
Oh, he's the kid that went. Yeah.
Wisconsin would not allow him to go in the portal because Washington technically can keep Williams from going in the portal. Now, what Xavier Lucas did was just de-enrolled from school, went to Miami, and he's playing in the college football semifinal tonight.
He transferred without the portal.
Without the portal, because he quit school, enrolled in school. Now, that case is still going through the courts. Even though he's playing, it's going through the courts. And Washington has said, hey, you signed a deal. We're going after you. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that.
I am too.
And we've talked about transparency here. Let's say you don't even release what the contracts are. However, let's say after a player signs a contract, do you think those contracts should at least be sent to the Big Ten conference or whatever conference you're in, or the NCAA to say here? Because when you sign a national letter of intent, that's submitted to the NCAA. Should you, just to give greater oversight?
Yeah. I mean, Travis, every league that we could think of, every sport has an oversight. In some way, there's some sort of oversight to guarantee that people are acting in good faith. There's very hard consequences that say once you sign this thing, you're doing this, and then everybody knows. It's very public. There is no we've never seen a professional athlete. Free agency starts. Hey, Kirk Cousins has just signed a record deal with the Minnesota Vikings, and then 2 days later, well, hold on, everybody. Turns out the Commanders really like him, and they're going to come back and take another swing at.
Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
I mean, if we're moving closer to the professional model, you have to act like professionals.
And maybe that's the purpose of the NCAA. Maybe that's the lane that they serve now. Is that oversight and that kind of posting house, right? Once you get a guy under contract, you send it to the NCAA, and then that's the league saying, hey, by the way, Washington has signed a quarterback. And off the board, everybody take your Sharpies out and put a big black line through this name.
And if you do one out, you forfeit your next year. I mean, this is where the NCAA, if they had a contract, said, hey, this is a legally binding document. I'm sorry, you have to sit out. You can transfer, but there's a buyout, and you have to sit out a year.
Trev, I've seen a lot of people get back in favor of that. Say there should be a couple of loopholes that allow a guy to transfer and play right away. Coach leaving, we could come up with a couple of things like that. Grad transfers. But if you just are leaving because it's not a great situation for you, you have to sit out a year at the new place.
Well, that and to me, that's only if you go back on your contract. If you sign a contract and you don't play, and you're like, oh, I decided I want to leave, and you've been hard on the NCAA, as you should have been. The NCAA, what happened here was that football and basketball got so big. The NCAA does great things for FCS, Division II, Division III. I mean, it does good work.
Yep.
What happened is Division I got so big that it couldn't make it tried to fit Division I into the Division III bucket to play by the same rules. It doesn't work that way. This doesn't work that way. This is where I make fun of the Progressive insurance commercials when they make the jokes about the commissioner. Maybe college football and basketball need a commissioner. Maybe they need something attached to the NCAA but runs those entities. And you don't have to throw field hockey and soccer and baseball and all this stuff. You basically need to take football, basketball, and manage it completely different and run it like a professional league. If you don't adapt like that, then when people talk about the death of college football and why they don't like it anymore, people just want structure. We want to know what's going on. We don't want the Wild West. Wild West is fun for a little bit. It's fun until it's not.
It's fun until it's not. Iowa State found that out.
Yeah. And also, you have to clamp down, and you have to, let's say this kid ends up at LSU. Nobody's not going to think that Lane Kiffin, I mean, all these coaches should have known that this kid signed a contract. He announced that he did. Then you're tampering at that point. And if you don't punish coaches for tampering, I don't know how you prove it.
Yeah. I think this is that conspiracy theory I talked about yesterday. Let's go back with a couple of things because Terry wrote in, sorry, Terry, and said, what happened to that clearinghouse thing with the NIL? What about Deloitte? Where are they in all this? Crickets.
Because Washington could have been paying him $4.5 million out of their $20.5 million allotment. They may not have had to go through the clearinghouse.
That's a good point. The 2 LSU thing is interesting on this too, because Lane Kiffin has been already tied to a couple of different quarterbacks.
Sam Levitt was sitting by him at a women's basketball game the other day.
Trav, it's
Let me ask you, because
tampering is definitely happening. You're not. I think that Lane Kiffin and who are all these other coaches know that the NCAA isn't going to come and crack down on them. And if they do, it's going to take them 10 years to do so. And you'll already have won the national titles and collected all the money and have, right?
Yeah.
It won't matter. This is the conspiracy theory. Is that the NCAA is intentionally letting this get this crazy so that the congressmen step in. Don't worry, folks. That glorious sound you hear in the distance is Ted Cruz coming to save the day. And they'll save the day by saying, you know what you guys need? The NCAA. So we'll carve out laws in the antitrust lawsuit or in what's the I'm drawing the blank on the name of that. Anyway.
The House settlement?
Yeah, there's a name attached to the antitrust. Anyway, we'll carve out a piece of that for you. We'll write new legislation to make it so that the NCAA can exist, even though we know that it's an illegal collusion of competing entities. It's what's going to happen. And that's that they're letting this stuff get this crazy.
For years, you've been a proponent of players getting paid. This
Yep.
isn't a conversation about that. Did you see what we're seeing? Was this an unintended consequence you didn't see coming when you're supporting that?
And real quick, Jeff Klein, thank you. The Sherman Antitrust Act. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Did I see now? Can you be more specific? Driving like guys signing contracts and then bailing the next day and doing stuff like this.
I mean, this whole where we're at. Did you're like, hey, get paid for doing your YouTube stuff? Go, we should be able to pay these guys. But you didn't see. But what you didn't see happen was a transfer portal opening the same time. I mean, becoming a deal like it is. Because when you were doing it, it was like, well, you still had to. You were committed for 4 years, and if you transferred, you had to sit out a year.
You were still a student.
Yeah.
You were attached to the university. Yeah. What we were arguing for and fighting for was guys to be able to go to car lots. Jordan Bohannon should be able to go support the local fireworks shop. They should be able to hold a camp and get some money for that. I never would have anticipated that it would have grown into this. I got scared right away when all of these institutions created their own collective.
And that was in Texas A&M started it. They were the first.
The lies that we were told. Again, I always loved calling out the bullshit of hey, we're self-sufficient. We're not a state institution. We are the athletic department. Don't you guys know this? We make our own money. How many times were we all beat over the head told that they're self-sufficient? They're not even Kirk Ferentz isn't even a paid by the taxpayers, guys. It's all self-sufficient. Don't you know that? We were beat over the head for decades, told that. You can't tell these people what to do with their money. They're self-sufficient. More, please. More, please. Only 20 million. Only need a meager 20 million for 1 year. And then next year, probably 25, but 20 million. That's all we need.
Well, the self-sufficiency changes, though, when you do have to pay players. I mean, you only make so much money.
They were never self-sufficient. They were never self-sufficient. It was always built through a public institution by taxpayer dollars. It was built for 60 years. That's what it was built on. And then the minute they started cashing $1 million checks, it was this is ours, though. This is ours. And then, we need more of that money. Oh, okay, well then grow a third arm out of your ass to grab more money.
I'll push back on that a little bit. I'm not saying you're totally wrong. When it changed was when you weren't self-sufficient and you were using taxpayer dollars, you became like every other department in the university, meaning, hey, we're going to cut money from athletics. We're going to cut money from band. And they said, oh, we need to go raise. So then you go raise money and you see how and then you're like, well, let's avoid cuts altogether. Let's just raise the money ourselves so we don't have to deal with said cuts. We have to. So they became self-efficient because they didn't want to deal with the bureaucracy of an actual university of going,
hey, that's ours.
Yeah. It's kind of like when people, because don't kid yourself. Athletic departments are revenue drivers for universities, meaning that if you're in the Final Four, if you're in the college football playoff semifinal, you're getting more students going.
Abigail's told us what's happened with Ole Miss.
Yes.
That's a big university.
Yes.
Look what happens when you have a great football team. Everybody wants to come there all of a sudden again.
Yeah. So it's a give and take, but the money became, in a fast amount of time, so big to where, and now.
I never anticipated this, Travis. I never anticipated stuff like like this situation.
Yeah.
Where a kid would sign a deal, announce it, I know how much money I'm getting paid, and then back out of it. Okay, real quick, before we take the break, about this stuff all being public, is that a good? We all want to know. I get that we all want to know, and for our own selfish interests of just curiosity, we all want this stuff to be public. Would that be a good thing?
I tell you what, aren't most professional contracts public?
That's a good point. Okay, because I'm thinking of I was personalizing it in a way of like, nobody at the radio station ever knew how much money I was making. I never knew how much anybody at the radio station was making. And wouldn't that have kind of ruined some things if I would have known? Like, oh my God, so-and-so's making how much?
But, I mean, did the Dodgers have to tell us what the deal was for what's his name? Shohei Ohtani? I mean, think about it. That's a public. I mean,
That's
know
a very
who
good
it is.
point. Very good. I mean, we do know we don't know. We do think that they're paying him something under the table, and it's a Kawhi Leonard type deal. But I completely understand. You're right, and that's a great point. On a professional level, and at every to fake Bob Vanderplaat's point, at every public college, university, salaries are public.
Yeah, I think
All right.
public
I'm
schools.
okay with it.
I think you know how much your high school history teacher's making. If you got a bat problem, if you got a mouse problem, you got a pest problem, Corey over at Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is the man to call because pest control is not seasonal. When temperatures drop, spiders, cluster flies, and mice head inside looking for warmth. Protect your home all winter long with Bats and Bugs Pest Solution, your trusted local family-owned experts. And don't forget to make sure to watch for footprints when it snows next time, especially on the roof. Tracks from raccoons, squirrels, and other critters can signal a problem pretty darn early in the process. So get Corey on your side now before it becomes a real expensive mess. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today. Get 10% off any wildlife or pest service when you mention the Rush Radio Show. Just go to batsandbugspestsolutions.com. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Oh, did see you there. Happy New Year for myself and everyone else over here at Land Rover Des Moines. My personal New Year's resolution is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. Come on down for $25 off your service. You can give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hi, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Are you on the verge of taking that next big step in your relationship? Our latest collection of engagement rings is here to make your moment even more memorable. From stunning classics to modern designs, each ring is meticulously crafted to symbolize your unique love story. Looking for something truly one of a kind? Explore our custom engagement ring options and let us bring your vision to life. Visit our showroom in Ankeny and let's start creating the ring of your dreams together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels. There's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Happy New Year from myself and everyone else over here at Willis Volvo. My New Year's resolution this year is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. You can come on down for $25 off your service. Visit us online at willisvolvocars.com or give us a call to get scheduled.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
If you're looking for a local full-service jeweler, you found it right here in Ankeny at Fiscus Jewelers, 1701 Southeast Delaware, Suite 250. Noel is amazing. And when you go to Fiscus Jewelers, you're going to deal with Noel. You're going to deal with the guy who owns the place. Custom design, engagement and bridal rings, repairs, appraisals. Start your design at fiscusjewelers.com, open Monday through Saturday. When's the last time we talked to Bruno? Can you remember?
Oh, it's been. I thought you were going to ask me when was the last time we talked to Noel Fiscus. I thought we had, but now it's been a couple weeks since we talked to Bruno as well, man. Missed him last year, last year. It's been since last year we talked to Bruno.
3 weeks.
Hi, buddy.
Morning.
We expect you to come with the thunder today, man. 3 weeks of stories and build up. Let's start with this. You'll like this. This will be a fun thing for your brain. Obviously, in America, all the sports teams have a nickname. We were talking about how the Oakland A's, Oakland Athletics, for 100 years, 125 years, have been known as the Athletics, and now they're having a hard time getting their trademark in Oakland. And Travis was asking about soccer, about how a lot of soccer teams aren't really known for their nickname. There are a few. There's only there are a few that trickle through.
Not here, but they are.
Oh, they're okay. In England, they're
that's
more
what we
well-known.
wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you know, in America, it's unique to have. I mean, we know it's our thing and it's been around. Well, if you say Manchester United, you don't need to say much more than that. People know, like, that's soccer, that's England.
Yeah.
But they're the Red Devils. A lot of teams have 2 and 3 different names.
See, that's what I was thinking more. Yeah, like that's. I knew that some of them are known as things like Tottenham are the Spurs, right?
Yeah, and they're the Tottenham Hotspurs, but the Spurs for short.
Okay.
The funny thing, Manchester United, I think they gave the name to the Ipswich Town. So Ipswich Town is like kind of a rural place where the soccer team. So the Manchester United folks, like maybe in the FA Cup match, said, "What's up, farm boys?" Or I think it's farm boys, or no, tractor boys. So like, "What's up, tractor boys?" So now they actually, you know what? We like that. So they started naming themselves the Tractor Boys.
That's how that high school team, Travis, is known as the Midgets.
Oh,
is that ECLUW? Esterville. That's it. Yeah, their wrestling team went over and beat a neighboring town, and the guy that wrote for the paper basically said, "Yeah, those midgets from Esterville came over and whipped our boys," and they were like, "Hey, we'll embrace it."
Well, there's a team. That team, I can't remember the town, but they're called the Chimps because that monkey that washed aboard on the French ship. Remember, I told that story a while back.
Yeah.
Where they thought it was a Frenchman. They thought they couldn't understand what it was saying because they'd never seen a monkey before, and they killed it. And so the mascot's name is Hangus now.
Hangus.
But that stuff, yeah, no, they all. In fact, I look it up all the time. All their stadiums are. A lot of their stadiums are still named like we used to have in our country. Candlestick Park, Fenway. You know,
they all haven't been sold to corporations. It's all
gross over here, and over there it's halfway there. You know,
yeah.
But like Fulham plays at Craven Cottage, which is there's a cottage. You can see a cottage that's been there for like 400 years. It's basically in the stadium because they just built up into it. And anyway, it's interesting. I don't know. It's just, see, the thing is, I know a lot about the American sports teams, so you know, it's sort of like.
Well, I'm glad you told us that, because I only could come up with a couple. Like, I feel like the Bolton Wanderers or Rovers or Those seem to be popular nicknames.
The Bolt. You know, I love is a team called Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
and they're
Sheffield
the
Wednesday.
Owls, but because they met on Wednesdays, they named it Wednesday, and it's just what it was.
They were the Wednesday Dart Club, and they just got real good. They were like, oh, now that's the name of the team.
Wonder if they get a trademark for Wednesday. Well, we own the name Wednesday.
I don't know.
Probably
but
not.
They're also the Owls, so it reminds me of Omaha, you know. No, it's fun, and it's just interesting to look into it. I like when it's sort of like when NFL teams or any of the teams do the throwback stuff. It just is sort of cool. Sometimes they're like, "Oh my god, that looked horrible." I don't like the stuff I don't like is when they do the whiteout games.
Yeah, the techno. What are they called? The Rush.
So silly.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. It's just it's so blatantly obvious that they're trying to get people to buy stuff.
Bruno,
you got to get the white jersey.
Do you remember in the late 90s? This is a weird throwback. When Major League Baseball tried to do futuristic uniforms.
Oh, dude.
Do you remember this by chance?
Yes.
And they did like the sleeveless. Like I remember the Rockies one was crazy. You know, it was a Back to the Future-esque parody of what in the future we're all going to wear neon colors and sharp angles and Trav, I'm glad you remember that because man, it feels like a fever dream sometimes. Yeah, horrible.
I don't remember that, and and every now and again you see a jersey and you're like, why are they're trying so hard to do something like the guy who the person whose job it is to come up with new stuff is trying so hard to keep their job. It's like, I don't know. It's just it's all marketing. If people want to buy, I mean, yeah, it's free country sort of, and then you can just buy whatever you want. Buy more, do whatever.
Speaking of buying, Ross, your favorite event, one of your favorite events of the year is coming up, the Barrel Age Brunch.
Was talking about it a couple weeks ago at a wrestling tournament with our buddy Frank.
And he's like, tickets go on sale Monday, Bruno?
I got a note that I think it said I think they are really kind of on sale right now to people who have gone before, and they're just about to go on sale.
Okay.
On Monday.
Okay.
I don't want to misspeak and say, but yeah, Monday at 11 a.m. they go on sale. But if you've already been to this, you may have already received an email. Like our buddy Christian, maybe he's already got an email.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I'll reach out to him.
So, I was thinking about buying, and you buy stuff, Christmas presents, all that stuff. This is the kind of stuff I like to buy. Stuff that you can consume right away. You know what I mean? Stuff that puts you out of your house and into the community. This is the kind of stuff that I think is fun. The Barrel Age Brunch is an indulgence of sorts, of course. It's just a little over the top, but boy, is it fun. And it sparks the thing that needs to happen all the time. I was at the library last night, and we had a Green River whiskey, which just won. Their weeded whiskey won the best in the world at a New York event.
I've never even heard of Green River.
So they're a 150-year-old company that it's sort of like the Empire. Hasn't really been in business until recently. It burned down pre-prohibition, and they never brought it back, but it was a big deal back then.
Oh, wow.
And they put a lot of money, sunk a lot of money, and now they have this whiskey. And the whiskey, their weeded whiskey, if you know whiskey, that's like weeded whiskeys are like Pappy Van Winkle, Weller's, Maker's Mark. And it's on a level of the Pappy Van Winkle, Weller's. It's really good and really easy to, it's easier to come by than Pappy and Weller's. So
all right, so explain it to us. Weeded whiskey, because you mentioned some pretty big brands there. I mean, Pappy's like the kingpin of those rare whiskeys. What's the connection, or why is that?
A bourbon needs to be 51% corn, or it can't be a bourbon. But after that, it's sort of like, call it a flavorant, or like what other grains do you put in? Some people put in malt, like malt whiskey. They put in malt, which actually is really good for fermentation. It's enzymatic and it helps. It's a whole science on that thing, but they put sometimes a little bit of that in. Sometimes they do only that. They do corn plus that. And that's That's the whiskey you find at that Quintessential from Cedar Ridge is really good.
Okay.
It's a single malt whiskey. But then you can put other things in, and rye whiskey, rye. So it has a good amount of rye. There's levels of rye, and then you can do wheat. And usually wheat is the primary beyond the corn in it, and wheat is softer, mellower, sweeter. I really like wheat. Think of like drinking a lager or a malty beer or a wheat beer. They all taste different because of the grain that went in them, and the wheated stuff. I mean, Makers is very popular. Has been since it came out in the 50s. But that they got their start from the Van Winkles and the Wellers. That all started out of that. So, and then Weller's just a hugely sought after, and Pappy, of course, is almost like a white buffalo. It's hard to come by, but it's out there and it's good. But I argue it's good because it's hard to get. It's like those $150 bottles of wine, Travis, compared to the $30 bottles of wine. It's that kind of thing.
And I can't taste the difference between a $100 bottle of wine and a $30 bottle of wine.
Expensive because it's hard to get.
And
I do want to go back to the barrel aged brunch real quick, because you have two seatings, right? One and this is on February 7th, 9 to noon, and then 1 to 4. So there's two seatings.
Yep.
And tickets are $75 per person, sold by the table. What does that mean? So do I have to buy a table, or can I buy an individual ticket, but I'm going to be paired with somebody at a table?
Iowa doesn't like the paired with somebody else kind of thing, although we have done that. We're open to do that. But what we're hopeful to do is if you have a group of 4, 6, or 8 that want to get a table together, you can buy your own table. And so you're guaranteed. It's sort of like creating a reservation, buying your seat at the theater kind of thing.
Think of it like getting a foursome for a golf tournament, Trav.
Sure.
Okay. That's the way. Every year that's kind of how I look at it. Is I build my team. I get my people together that I know want to try to sit together. The problem is you're sometimes limited to the number of seats you can have at one table. So
yeah,
but I know
it kind of creates a little bit of an issue, but
yeah,
you can always call to the bait shop and say, hey, we want to have 5 at a table and you don't offer it. Can we do that? I'm sure they can figure that out for you. Like if, I didn't know my buddy was going to be in town. We already bought the tickets and now we got one extra. Show up that day and we'll figure out a way to get your buddy in, as long as your buddy pays $75.
We've shoehorned Bruno into our table a couple times.
Yeah,
so
somehow you made that happen. And then there are single tickets. You can sit at the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is like, if you're a shut-in but want to get out one time a year, or you just got to town and don't know anybody, or if you can't find somebody, none of your buddies want to drink barrel-aged beer, you can sit at the bar. So that's how that works. And as we get closer to the deadline to where we're the cutoff and we don't sell anymore, we start getting a little creative of what we have left. But it's all online. You go to online ordering on the menu. Of course, there's a link on my computer screen that you don't have when you're listening here. But if you go to El Bait Shop ordering online, it's barrel aged brunch at the top, and you can order online on Toast. So that's how we do that. And another one that's a little bit more esoteric, but surprisingly very well attended, always full to the top, is our Royal Mile Robbie Burns night, which Robbie Burns is the national poet of Scotland. He wrote if you're saying at midnight, Old Lang Syne, Robbie Burns wrote that. And so it's just a kind of a dedication. They've always done this kind of theatrical kind of event where they talk and they read from his stuff. Scott Sipker was the masters of ceremony a few times for this.
Oh, that makes sense. Like that.
And it sort of does this whole acting thing, and then there's a 5-course meal, scotch, beer, cocktail pairings, the feature programming. Featured programming by Scott Sipker.
I love this. He sort of does this acting thing, or as Scott might call it, a performance.
Yeah, a performance. This acting thing. Yeah.
He sort of does this acting thing. He pretends to be this other person for a while. It's really
Yeah, the Iowa nice guy, the Robbie Burns guy from Mount Carmel, Iowa, will dazzle you with his performance. No,
Like
it's
it.
fun. It's really cool. It's really cool. And then Travis, do you have the rodeo song plugged in, ready to go?
The Garth Brooks rodeo song?
I can't play that.
What do you mean the rodeo song?
It's 20 below, and I don't give a F.
It's 20 below. Don't give a fuck. Got a hater of a truck and a top to the rodeo.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
If you're off to the rodeo this weekend, we have the pregame. Do a pregame boot at the Hessen House, or Buzz or Billy's. Go have a hurricane or do whatever. But I've been to the rodeo before. That's interesting. It's fun. I think, were you and I there, Ross?
The Cinch World, and that's the one that's in town right now, is the Cinch World Stuffus Rodeo, right? I believe.
I don't know. We went to
whichever one it is.
rodeos.
It's a fun time, man.
It's kind of wild, yeah.
Audrey wants to. We saw the billboard, and Audrey's like, "Dad, can we go to the rodeo again this weekend?" I'm like, "Well, might have to do that Friday or Saturday because."
Here's the deal, and this is a major point I wanted to make today. I just had these funny stories, but the world is changing as far as like people wanting to drink, people wanting to, a lot of people are kind of focused in and looking right at their phones and finding comfort on a phone or on social media or porn or whatever you want to say, but it's all individual, siloed by yourself, away from the rest of the world. You watch 3 young kids sitting together on a phone and you're like, what is going on? I mean, there will be some kind of backlash to this in their lives where they won't have the skills to communicate with people. It's that teach them how to handshake, look them in the eye, squeeze hard, don't hold it on too long, but, be firm.
There's a good book out right now called The Anxious Generation that is a must read for every school teacher out there. Yeah, I've read it. I've also have another book. I think it's Dopamine Nation or something like that. It's that casino hit you get for being on, when you're on your phone. I argue two greatest jobs you could send your kid off to do. One that it only dawned on me and it was too late for me. Dopamine Nation is the name of the book. Is taking groceries out to the car, working for Fairway. Those kids, I would like to hear I would love to have done a study or find out where those kids are now, where they went in life, because most of them just have a really good conversation with you. They're really honing their life skills, and it's amazing. And they're always young kids, like 15, 16, 17 or whatever. It's really great. And the other one I would say is waiting tables, or hosting or working at a place. My daughter's just got a job at Lucky Horse, and they're going to be hosting. They've done this stuff before, but the biggest job is the biggest thing for them is to stand up to adults and say, tell them firmly, this is how we need it to go. You have a host so you can control where the seating is, and they have to have this conversation. And like I said, last night I was at the library, and we were full on a Wednesday, and there's people having good conversations, talking about all the stuff in their lives. Zach Tuttle, a friend of mine, and my next door neighbor Tim Grimes were over there, and they were talking about how they go to Fairway or they go to these Swedish lockers at the holidays to get some traditional Swedish sausages and stuff. Like, it keeps traditions alive to sit there, where no one ever like signs a big deal at like Travis at your work. They don't sign a big deal and it's like, okay, let's break out the lemonade. No, it's break out the champagne, break out the
Malort. Get the Malort.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to get a sad face on.
Go to the
Justin.
Justin.
What's up, Bruno? What's up, guys?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing really good.
He's got a major correction for me. I screwed up big time early on.
Yeah. So, Trav, reread that box score you have there for Iowa State.
I have a feeling I know where I went wrong. Look at the women's box score and look at the men's box score and see how close I am to being right.
Dude, are you kidding me?
But I wasn't that far off. I mean, I was off, but they weren't great numbers. But go ahead and correct me.
Iowa State shot 41% from the field, 32%.
Yeah, 40.6% from the field, not 30.6.
Okay.
And what they shoot from three? Because I said 18%.
36.
Yeah, so I was off there. But look, and I have a feeling I looked at the women's box
or
score.
32. Sorry, I messed up. 32.
Yeah. I think I looked at the women's box score, didn't I?
Yeah, I was gonna pull that one up to compare them.
That one did. When you went through that stat line, I was shocked. I was like, my gosh, they were bad from the field, and they won that game. But
their free throw shooting wasn't that great.
The women went 36%, 19% from three, so that was the one you were missing. But yeah, I was with Ross when you said it. I was like, well, that doesn't seem right.
Look at the first half. Was I close in the first half?
I can't. I'm on ESPN, and it just shows me the game.
What were you saying, Bruno?
I was going to say is sort of to correct that mistake, Travis. Homer Simpson, a great philosopher, always had alcohol is the cause and the solution to all life's problems. So maybe he'll
start
help
drinking.
You out.
Yeah, you're right. I'll start drinking. So
I will say, I'll just reference real quick that Medium is the where you can find this article. It's called "Is Partying More Good for Us?" Yes, sometimes.
Is partying more good for us?
Sometimes. Actually, it's called Alcohol Abstinence and a Contrarian Case that we should party more.
I'm okay with that.
Justin should party more.
Needs you to party.
You know what? I want to say something funny about Justin. We were talking about Justin and talking about drinking, and if somebody, I think Ken Payne asked, is he even old enough to drink?
I went to a bar last year with a few buddies to just like watch an Iowa Hawkeye football game. And I go up there and I already have like my ID ready. Like I just know it's going to happen. Yeah. Go up there a second time and the lady's like, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "I already have a tab open, but okay, fine." Hand her the ID. I go up there a third time and it's a different bartender. And the lady's like, "Hey, can I see your ID?" And the two other ones are like, "He's good. Yeah. We got him." Yeah. And I had to get an X on my hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Get an X. Let's get something.
That's the
but then it takes forever to get off.
Yeah, it was there for like 3 days.
The world is telling you, grow a beard, Justin. Time to step up and be a man.
This is like a month.
He can't.
See you next week, Bruno. See you next week, Trav.
See you next week, Bruno. See you next week. Be Justin and Ross tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. They'll be live at 6 a.m. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. Thanks for listening. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City. We can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City. All this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Oh, did see you there. Happy New Year for myself and everyone else over here at Land Rover Des Moines. My personal New Year's resolution is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. Come on down for $25 off your service. You can give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.